Okay, hi. So I want to show you some of the absolute best tips that I have discovered over the last, 10 years really, to really improve the productivity and get basically 16 minutes of productivity out of 25-minute sessions. I do this all day, and if you talk to people that I'm friends with, they wonder if I ever sleep. They wonder how I'm able to get a lot of things done and still have time to stay married, not alienate my wife, raise 3 dogs right now. I'm training somebody's puppy. They're paying me to do that. I am able to do triathlons, stay in shape, still have time to work out. And all of this comes down to controlling your time. So either you control your time or companies and other people will control your time. And if you look around on the train, you look around at the office, you just watch how people waste so much time, especially students, right? They know they have so many things to get done, but they don't even know where to begin. And then that leads them to just bury their head in the sand and want to go and browse their social media because that's instant gratification. So let me show you some really useful practical tips I think you'll find helpful to get a lot more done in a lot less time. First, Trello. What is Trello? Trello is a way that you can organize your tasks. So you get a heads-up display of everything that needs to be done. So here's a screenshot of how my Trello looks for the videos I want to record. All right, so these are all videos I'm going to get around to recording someday. And then the video I'm working on right now. All right, so in Trello, I can see all of the tasks that I have to do. And this is for just this one board, videos to record. If you have a different project you're working on, that would be a different board with individual tasks. If you have a vacation you're saving up for, a wedding, for example, that would be a different board. And all the cards would be to do and then done. And you get that immediate gratification of moving that individual card from to do to done. And each card should represent a task that takes approximately 25 minutes. So you're breaking up your tasks into very specific, hyper-focused, granular tasks that you will time box. Now, what is time boxing? That means you give yourself a certain amount of time to complete that task. There's a thing called Parkinson's law, and that says the amount of time it will take to complete a task is equal to the amount of time you have to complete the task. So that's why when you have 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months to complete an assignment in school, you're going to wait until the last few days. And if you deliberately cut down the amount of time you have to complete the task, you'll get the task done on time. You'll probably get it done early, and that'll give you time to get some calibration before it's actually due. Now, that really helps outside the academic world with deliverables for clients. So if they are promised a deliverable in 2 weeks, cut it down to 1 week. Make that the soft deadline so you can give that completed deliverable. And again, it's always better to have something completed with 80% perfection than wait for 100% perfection and know that it never actually gets delivered. So with 80% perfection, you can meet with a client a week ahead of the actual hard cutoff date and show what you've done. And there's been times where I'm so glad I had that opportunity because I wildly missed the mark. It was bad communication. It was a misunderstanding of what I was expected based on what the customer was expecting. And if I had just assumed I understood and waited until the actual deadline and delivered it, it would have been disastrous. And there's real world implications. I'm a landlord tenant attorney. You don't want to screw these things up when there's really important deadlines and deliverables that depend on you getting the job done right. So being able to meet with the client before the deadline was done, get calibration, see what you've done right, see what you've done wrong, then fix the latter to make it perfect. And then you will have a happy client and you will be satisfied knowing that you did the job on time and completed. So going back to Trello and why this is so powerful is that when you line up your tasks, and there's that adage of if you have 5 hours to chop a tree down, spend 3 hours sharpening your axe. Get all of your resources in one place. A chef has the mise en place. They get everything together before they start the preparation of the meal. Otherwise, while your chicken is cooking on the stove, you're running around your freezer or fridge looking for the ingredients while you're burning your chicken. Get everything together in a visual, organized manner, and that way you have everything you need to complete the task at hand. Trello is the perfect system for that. I don't work for Trello, I don't give you promotions for them, no consideration, I'm not sponsored, but this is the single most useful program that has organized every aspect of my life. All right, I'm in the military, I'm a Chief Petty Officer in the Navy Reserves. I'm a landlord-tenant attorney. I am also a pro bono attorney. I do a lot of volunteer work for communities with emergency preparedness, emergency survival kits, which I also have a side business for, selling emergency survival kits. I have regular conversations with clients, with people that want to buy my stuff, with people that just need help. I also do smart home consulting. I have a job on that today, which I will make the time to do it. You always have the time if you will make the time. And by making the time, it doesn't just find you. You have to be deliberate with your schedule. Trello, with time boxing, with the other apps that I'm going to show you, like Evernote and a scanner, will save you so much time. Because when it comes to things like scanning a document, let's say a receipt, it takes about 11 seconds for me to open up the Evernote receipt widget on my phone and go to Evernote Receipts. Right? It brings up the screen, automatically ready to take a picture. It does a bunch of things in the background, opens up the correct Evernote Receipts notebook, brings up the camera scanner. And then when I scan something, let's say I want to scan this, right? So I just hover the phone over that. This is just an example of saving time. Oh yeah, I'm on my treadmill desk. Let me stop there. Okay, so I scan the document. It will recognize once it's in focus and centered. It'll automatically take the picture. Okay, so now it's recognizing that. It's doing OCR. And this is, again, just taking like 10 or 20 seconds. When you get a receipt, before you go to your car, before you throw away that receipt, you need these receipts. All right, again, it's just one example. But you need the receipts if you have a small business for itemization, for tax deductions, right? These are reimbursable expenses. But you're going to spend either 10 or 20 seconds now scanning the receipt, or hours later looking for that receipt because you put it in a shoebox and you don't even know where you saved it. If it's on your computer and you use a program like Evernote, you don't even have to remember where you saved it or what you called it, because OCR, optical character recognition, will recognize the text within that document and you can find it immediately. All right, so I'm going to save that. I didn't title it anything. It's just a snapshot that's untitled. Here's the receipt. Just going to pretend this is a receipt, just the only paper I have on my desk because I scanned all the rest of the papers. And there it is, okay? Have an emergency kit ready. I didn't give it any title, I'm just going to save it. And then give it a few seconds, it'll upload to the cloud, which means I can access that from any other computer I'm on, whether I'm on vacation or at work. And then, if I go to Evernote, and I bring up Evernote, right? Here's that snapshot. There it is. If I go to my receipts notebook, it'll be there automatically. So if I go to notebooks and I go to Evernote Receipts, which is just recently updated, so it's putting at the top of the list, there it is, okay? Have an emergency kit ready. So let's say I just go to, all notes, just all generic. And I didn't remember where I saved it, even though it automatically saved it to my receipts folder because I added that widget to my phone. But again, I'm just going to give you a demonstration of why you need to take a few seconds to scan important documents right when you get them. And this is also part of the bigger picture of taking time ahead of time to save you time later. So let's say I'm just looking for the text emergency kit or SDG&E, right? Like something unique about that note. It's going to look through thousands and thousands of my notes and find everything that contains SDG&E. Okay, so here's all those documents that contain it. The first result is this, and you can see where it highlights SDG&E, SDG&E. So that was done automatically. All I did was, from the home screen, go to the widget to scan a document. You can see it opens up a new one. And then the camera's so smart that when you put it in focus and hold it steady, which I'm having trouble doing because I'm walking right now, it will automatically, see, it'll automatically focus the camera, it'll snap the picture if I can hold it steady enough, and then it's filed away for me to organize it. And then within Evernote, at the end of the year, I just download those documents, or I can add individual tags like this, taxes, FY 2021, see? And then that's another way to subcategorize it within that. So again, it seems like you don't have time to do these things in advance. This is why people end up wasting so much time, because they don't think they have 10 or 20 seconds, which gives you asymmetric returns. Where else are you going to get a return of several hours saved because you took 10 or 20 seconds to organize? So let me show you another example of saving time by spending time. When I am going to start a task, let's say this video, for example. So record video on how I get 60 minutes of work done in 25 minutes sessions every day. Right? So I created that card, and if I want to move this to the top of my to-do list, I can easily do that. I can just drag it to the top like this, and then here's the format that I use for my YouTube videos. And I just started this YouTube channel. I would like it to grow. I would like to know if you find these tips helpful. I'm trying to figure out what type of videos people find most helpful. I really like to make videos on emergency survival kits, but I don't know if there's enough of an audience for that on YouTube. If you guys want to see more of my dog, hey Steve, hey, Romeo, anybody, they're all nappy. I don't think that's going to be as useful, but I certainly enjoy making videos on that. Check out my dog's Instagram, Steve the Red Poodle. So here's the title: How I Get 60 Minutes of Work Done in 25, fix that typo, minute sessions every day. All right, so that would be copied and pasted into the YouTube video, and then in the description, I would add, a quick description. I show you my best tips for spending a little time to save a lot of time later. Maybe add a couple hashtags. Trello, right? And then I would just copy and paste that into the description, okay? So, but that's not the main advantage of this. See all these individual screenshots? Those are the images that I will use in the video. I can easily just download them, and I also have my checklist, right? So the checklist is the most important. And this is what I'm going to talk about on the video. So as I discuss these things on the video, I just mark them as done. So Trello to identify specific tasks being worked on in time box. Just mark that as done, and then I can see that I'm 6% away from completing all the other checklists within that card. Now, the time boxing I was going to show you is here. Start timer. You can set a timer for 25 minutes, or 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, with a break of 5 or 20 minutes. I like using 25-minute sessions. And what that does is gives me a specific countdown. It also gives me a specific task with the title. So I know exactly what I'm supposed to be working on right now. There's no other distraction. And I know that I can ignore my phone. I can ignore my need to go to the bathroom, to eat something for 25 minutes. Anybody can do that. Hyper-focused for 25 minutes. I'm not responding to my text messages, not responding to calls. If you can put your phone on airplane mode for that time, even better. I have my headset on because I'm listening to the music that's designed to help me focus. There's a program called Focus at Will, which is scientifically proven music, whatever genre you choose, to help you stay focused. You should experiment with this program called Focus at Will. And there's also a program called Brainwaves. That has been life-changing. I use that for focusing when I'm working, because there's all these different modes: motivation enhancer, energy enhancer, concentration enhancer. And if you don't think this works, put on the sleep on your phone or on your computer next to your bed, deep sleep induction. If there is one for dreams, which there is on many of these Brainwaves apps, it's going to give you some LSD-like dreams. It's crazy how effective that is. But put it on deep sleep when you sleep, put it on mind training, mental worker support session, and just let that play in the background for 8 hours, just passively. It's these tones that, especially if you wear noise-canceling headphones, it will keep you focused for so much longer. The other thing is staying upright. If I sit down, if I'm too relaxed, my focus starts to drift. If I'm too full, my focus starts to drift. If I'm not hydrated enough, if I haven't had enough vegetables in the past few days, all these things are just minor wins that are significant. They're easy things to do, and they have profound impacts on your productivity. So we've talked about the first one, Trello to identify specific. Go to the next one. We've done this. You can add your PDFs, your cloud drive links, your notes. So you can see here that if I go to attachment, I can attach a Google Drive link. I can attach Dropbox, OneDrive. Anything from the cloud, you just add the URL, or you upload the PDF from your computer. So let's say we go to computer. And the advantage of this is now we bring it from that local machine into Trello, which is in the cloud, so I can access it from my phone when I'm traveling. I can access it from any machine that's connected to the internet. I just pick up right where I left off if I'm on vacation, on the plane, if there's Wi-Fi, etc. So let's go to, just a PDF. If I can find one that I've downloaded recently. Yeah, here. All right, so upload this. It's processing the upload. And now I have the PDF available right here. And I can easily just bring it up. Now I can work on this, right? So you're assembling PDFs, you're assembling JPEGs, you're assembling all these disparate sources that you'd have to run around and look for if you didn't have them right in front of you, easily accessible. And if you have a second monitor like I have, that would be fantastically helpful to you. So let me show you a little bit about my office here. All right, so the treadmill is going to stop since I'm off it. It'll automatically stop, but I can control the speed here, and I can just walk for hours comfortably. I stay far more focused, far more alert than when I'm just sitting in the chair. I really only use that chair for stretching. In other words, I keep this desk elevated. It's a power operated desk. And it usually stays on the same setting, but the chair, I just stretch my quads, stretch my IT bands while I'm working. And after 25 minutes, I will take a break. I'll either have to use the head, I'll have to take the dogs out for a quick walk, bathroom break. What do you guys think? Time to go? They say it's time to go. Oh, downward dog time. He's out. And I know I never have to worry about responding to calls right away. There's rarely a time where a call is so urgent it can't wait 25 minutes. And every few sessions, I'll use the pull-up bar on the door frame. So I'm doing 10 pull-ups, 10 leg raises, just to keep my mind restored and refreshed. Maybe some stretching for a few seconds, and then I'm back at it, another session. All right, so these guys really want to get going here. But the dual monitor setup is so helpful because you can summarize the points on one screen, add them to the other. You can take a screenshot of one and then immediately upload it to that. For example, there's a keyboard shortcut, Shift, Command, C, and that will copy that image, the screenshot, and then I can add it here to my Trello card. All kinds of things. Now, the next thing is scanning with an actual scanner. So every time I get a stack of documents, I scan that immediately before I have a chance to misplace them. You can always print something that you've scanned. You can't do it vice versa if you've never actually scanned it. And that also helps me easily locate files without having to search through the physical ones. They're all easily accessible. So for example, in the scan snap, let's scan this, all right? So double-sided, automatically,
it loads right into Evernote because that's how I have it programmed. It's very easy to do. There, okay. So it scans it, now it's alive, now I can use it for the rest of the morning. And then watch what happens. So Evernote is automatically loaded. ScanSnap converts it into OCR, and then you'll hear a sound. There it is. Wait, it's coming. There it is. Okay, so that's the scan I just scanned. It does both sides immediately. Let's move it over here because I'm recording this screen. All right, so you can see here, it's scanned in my default notebook. I didn't have to title it anything. It automatically recognized the date and the title of the card. Now, let's say I don't remember where I saved this. I just know that it's somewhere in my Evernote workbook. Now, looking at the text on here, let's just find some random text and see if Evernote shows us where it is. So let's say manual can opener. That's a recommendation from SDGenie's emergency kit. All right, so check it out. Manual can opener, I would just go to search notes, manual can opener. It's going to look through all the notes, and there it is, all right? It finds it there and there. Manual can opener. It did that all automatically through optical character recognition. So if I were to open this, here's another cool thing. Using Evernote, using the annotate function, it converts it to a PDF, and now when I just highlight a few items, let's say manual can opener, portable radio with flashlights, whistle to signal for help, it will create the annotation summary. And what that looks like is when I save that document, I can immediately just see the annotation summary. So if you have a huge PDF that's dozens or hundreds of pages, it will give you a quick heads-up summary of just the pages and specific sections that you've highlighted right here, right? So I don't need to see everything. I just want to see the relevant portions that I highlighted. There it is, manual can opener, portable radio with flashlights, whistle to signal for help. So Evernote is what I use to locate documents without having to worry about where I saved it, what I titled it. The optical character recognition takes care of all that. And if you don't have Scanner, or if you don't have Evernote, you can use Google Drive. It works very similar. It has OCR built in as well. Now, the next thing, going back to Trello, and this is why I have this card here so I can keep track of everything I wanted to present, we have the simplification of formatting. So let's say there's a document online, it has all kinds of advertisements on the home page. Let's say there's an article on Forbes.com. And I'm going to raise up my desk back to work. So when we bring up an article online, Evernote helps us by simplifying the format. It gets rid of all the ads. It gets just to the heart of what the article is actually about. Otherwise, it's just total brain chaos. There's all kinds of crappy formatting here. There's advertisements everywhere. So instead, what we do is we click on the little Evernote widget. It's an article clipper. And then what we do is once it loads up, we click on Save Clip. It's going to save it as a simplified article. You already get a preview of what it's going to look like. And see how it cleaned out most of that other crap? It just gives us the key facts. So we can save it, goes to Productivity and Motivation Notebook, and then when we open up Evernote, go to All Notes, there it is, okay? And there is our article that is a lot cleaner than the original. It also gives us the URL built in, so if you want to go back to that original article, there it is. And you can do a side-by-side comparison. So this is how Evernote is PDF. And then once you start highlighting,
And you can do multiple types of highlighting, individual, selection, annotation summary will be saved. And there it is, annotation summary, okay?